See him a beast when he hear that sound like yeah, beat on the beat when he hear that sound like woo. Yeah, bitch and the champ only need one round like ha. Yeah, me, I'm a G bring heat and it sound like
My man, Kev Jitsu, Kevin Shaughnessy. How you doing, brother?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, and word on the street is you got yourself a little title fight coming up this weekend. How you feeling?
Yeah, feeling pretty good. Today's Tuesday. We're a few days out from weigh-ins. I'm in the middle of my water load now, so just peeing like crazy, getting on the treadmill and the ski machine and stuff, cutting calories down. So yeah, got to make 125 this time. It'll be my first time making 125 on the dot. So
How much you have to cut roughly, if you don't mind me asking?
it was about when I started a few weeks ago, like my diet, I was about 142, 43. That's about the heaviest I'll ever get walking around.
Okay.
But the last few weeks I've been steady around like 38. So I started fight week off this week at 134 on Sunday. So
Is it going to be a clean cut, or are you going to have a miserable Thursday evening, do you think?
it should be pretty good. It shouldn't be more miserable than last time. So
Cool.
this time should be much better.
Good to hear,
I'm on-
because I know how that goes.
Yeah, last time was my first time cutting down there, so it was a bit rough. I didn't really kind of know what to expect. I kind of fucked up the water load a little bit. So this time we're doing things right. Not working at all this week. So yeah.
Awesome, man. And March 11th, Rumble at the Roseland, 113. You're fighting Brandon Dugan for the flyweight title. Before I ask you about the fight, is this a vacant title, or is he the title holder?
Okay, so it actually is a vacant title, but he did win their super fight title at 125 in his last fight, which was kind of like an interim championship type thing. They weren't sure if their flyweight champion was going to come back or not. He's actually like a Golden Gloves champion now. He's been like doing boxing and stuff a lot, so they kept trying to get him to come back and defend the belt, and like he was always like, oh, I'm boxing. So I know he's like going to regionals in Las Vegas this weekend actually. So yeah, so he vacated the title. I was supposed to fight for that vacant title back in December, and then I would be kind of like merging the titles with Brendan now. But since my opponent pulled out in December, as you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and fight Brendan for the vacant title. So.
And what are your thoughts on Brendan as an opponent?
He's a pretty tough kid. Like overall, he's kind of good everywhere, but I don't think he's great anywhere, which is why I think I'm gonna be able to expose some holes in his game. He actually used to train with some guys from here, and when I started over here, the head coach of the amateur team was my boxing coach Jordan, and this guy Ian King, who actually runs the Muay Thai program up here, and Ian had done a lot of training with him back in the day. So he like didn't want us to fight at first when I first got out here. And then he would actually bring Brendan in for sparring sometimes. So what Brendan actually fought for the flyweight title against the kid who vacated it. They fought, they went into like the third or fourth round, and I think Brendan got TKO'd or something, but it was a good fight. But he came in and sparred me twice for that camp, and I think I kind of got the better of him in both of those. And he was getting ready for his title shot, and I still only had one fight at the time, so I feel pretty confident. But
so you actually sparred this kid?
Yeah, we actually sparred twice. Yeah, well, over a year ago though, a little over a year ago. So.
And I know you bring obviously a BJJ heavy approach, and you've been working on your striking a lot as well. How do you feel like that matches up against his style, especially having sparred him, even if it was a year ago?
Well, he's more of a striker, definitely, but I know he likes to throw a lot of kicks, which is always just going to play into my favor in terms of getting takedowns. I think he needs to kick to win. He's not going to outbox me, and him throwing kicks is just going to open up my game, kind of like it did in our sparring sessions. His wrestling's all right, but I don't think he's going to want to grapple me much after the sparring sessions that we had. So, yeah,
and
I'm pretty confident.
Alexa Grasso this past weekend put on full display how grappling is very effective against kicks.
Definitely, yeah. He throws one wrong, and there I am on his back, so.
Love it, dude. So without giving too much away, you got a little Mystic Kev prediction for this fight?
Well, I think it's probably going to go a few rounds because, like I said, he's tough, and I'm not going to try to rush anything with the grappling or anything like that. but I see me submitting him or TKOing him on the ground from me in the top position, probably by round 3. That's what I'll go with.
I'll put 10 units on Kev Jitsu inside the distance at plus 300.
Yes, good.
Since we last talked, you mentioned this a little bit earlier. You've had like what, 2-3 fights canceled?
Yeah. So I had a couple opportunities where I was supposed to fight, and the fights never really got canceled. They just never got agreed to from the other camps. So like we would put my name out, Coach Ed put my name out there for fights, and we would just get nothing back, or the coach would just be like, no, we're good with that guy. And then I was finally gonna get a rematch with Daniel, who I beat by split decision in June, since we couldn't get anyone else to fight me. But then he pulled out 9 days before the last one, and then it's just been tough. I was supposed to fight in January after that, and we couldn't get an opponent. So I've just been waiting. I've been in camp since October, getting ready to fight. So I can't wait to get in there on Saturday.
And do you think the opponents, whether it's pulling out, not accepting, whatever the words be, do you think that's because of your gym's reputation? Do you think it's because, like, I'm looking at Tapology right now, you're number 7 out of 51 active Pacific Northwest amateur flyweights. So like, why are these people not accepting these fights against you?
I think it's mostly because I'm a brown belt as an amateur fighter, which a lot of them aren't. Most amateur fighters are blue and white belts. I mean, sometimes you'll have a purple belt on occasion, but most amateur fighters aren't usually brown belts. So if there's a kind of a big pool of fighters at 125 out here in the Pacific Northwest, if the promoter throws out 2-3 names to these guys' coaches, and their coaches look and they're like, well, I either got a Muay Thai guy, a kickboxer, or a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, they're like, oh, let's just go take the kickboxer who's been training for years. You know what I mean? So even though I don't have a lot of MMA experience or very good striking, it's just tough to get matchups as a brown belt amateur. So hoping to finish out the amateur career this year and go pro in 2024. So that's the goal.
I think the last time you fought was June. I know you're always busy in the cage and at the gym, but with that time off, with winning your first belt, what is it going to mean to you and feel like when you do get your hand raised on Saturday night?
Well, it's going to be a little extra special for me, not just since I haven't fought in so long, but actually this year will be 10 years since my dad passed away. Coming up in August will be 10 years, and this Saturday is actually his birthday, March 11th. So I feel like I'm just meant to go in there and win for him, kind of. And I'll probably cry because it's my first title, and just because it's my dad's birthday, I think it's going to mean that much more to me. So kind of a good way to honor him. I didn't even start training jiu-jitsu until after he passed away. So yeah, I think he'll be proud of what I'm doing right now and what I'm about to do on his birthday on Saturday.
Hell yeah, man. And I know you, you're definitely going to break down and cry in the middle of that octagon, brother. But in a good way. And that is so special and so awesome right there. And whatever your beliefs are, as far as the afterlife goes, you're damn well know he's getting a hell of a show with you.
Yeah, exactly.
You get the belt, been working super hard for it. Right now, you are at your gym, American Top Team, Pacific Northwest, infamous gym. Many, many great fighters have come out of there right now. Ricky Simone. Is it Ricky Simon or Simone?
Simone.
Okay. See, people try to tell me it's Simon. And I'm like, I don't think you're right there, guys.
No, Simone. Mexican.
So, Ricky Simone, Coach Ed Herman, plenty of talented guys out of there. How has camp been?
It's been fantastic, dude. With guys like Ricky pushing me all the time. Like, we do sparring on Tuesdays and Saturdays here. So on Tuesdays, I always spar with the pro team at like noon. And then on Saturdays, I teach up at our FSBJJ Vancouver, which is one of our satellite affiliate gyms. Fabiano Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The headquarters up in Vancouver. I teach classes out of there. So Saturday mornings I teach there, and then I come down for amateur sparring on Saturday. So Tuesdays I spar with the pro team, Saturdays I spar with the amateurs. But I always have Ricky pushing me in those rounds on Tuesday. I got guys like Cody Hammond, who's fighting soon. He's another pro out of here who's really good. I got Steven Chang. He's one of the top 5 pros in the Pacific Northwest right now, and he's always pushing me in those pro trainings. So just going against guys like that week after week for a couple years now, it's just I feel like it's forcing me to grow so much, and I just don't think that there's any threat that Brendan can pose to me that's gonna put me on my heels, like, because I have Ricky Simone in my face pushing me back and stuff, and I'm used to that. Although I crumble under that pressure, it makes it so I won't against these amateur guys. So, and then the amateur sparring's been great too. You know, I have Brian Sherd, my teammate Brian.
Yeah.
He's always pushing me super hard. That kid's come a long way in his grappling and his striking. So we're always pushing each other. My teammate Ty Morris, another kid coming out here who's an amateur. He's only 18. He just had his debut a few months ago. He won a clean decision, looked like a pro striking in there. He's a fantastic striker. So me and that kid are always beating each other up on Tuesdays and Saturdays. We both hit those 2 sparring sessions. So that kid's been awesome for me. He's fighting at the end of the month, actually, March 25th on a local show here too. So yeah, a lot of good guys. Camp's been fantastic, especially with Ed getting into fight camp over the last 2 weeks. Ed's going to fight soon. So now having him kind of in fight camp at the end of my fight camp, it's cool to see how he's kind of starting it off, and it's a really good push. We have a bunch of open communication with a ton of great coaches here. So my coach Dylan Fussell has been pushing me like fucking crazy since October. This guy is responsible for most of my striking getting better from my last fight. So I think we're going to see a big difference from the last fight in terms of my striking and my stand-up, and also in just how comfortable I am out there. And it's just all because of the great camp out here. So
Yeah, man, hell of a gym. Shout out Brian. I think Brian just had a fighter pull out of his fight, right?
yeah. So he was supposed to fight this Saturday as well, but he actually ended up failing one of his medicals, and he needs to go get before he can pass it again. So it's just some doctor nonsense holding up the fight, but he'll get back out there soon. But he's been pushing me camp still. So.
Well, sorry, bud. We all love Brian. And then, talking about Ricky, does he have any fight news right now that you know of? I'm not trying to get you to spill any beans.
Song Yadong. He's fighting Song Yadong.
Is that official? What card is that?
Yeah, that's in April, early April.
April 15th, April.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, because Ed's a few weeks after. So.
Yeah, Ed's. Yeah, or maybe Ricky and Song's April 8th, and then Ed's the 15th.
That sounds more right. That sounds more right. Yeah.
Song Yadong versus Ricky. Oh man, that's Ricky's shot right there, bro. If he wins that fight, he's top 5.
Yeah, he's gonna get into the top 5 for sure. Just watching that guy push himself in here, it's so motivating to see like what a pro in the UFC actually does at the top level, and it's incredible. So he's gonna put on a hell of a performance. I don't think Song is gonna have much for him. So
we have that little betting group chat. We talk some fun in sometimes, and before the Jack Shore fight, man, you were like, you guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. You're gonna lose money. And we did. So shout out you and shout out Ricky. Hell of a fight. And then Ed Herman, Zach Cummings. Yeah, I mean, I think Ed Herman gets that freaking dub knockout style, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think he's gonna clinch him up and beat the shit out of him in the clinch and take him out. So Ed just lands so strong, and he's just such a veteran. I don't think him going up against another young prospect wouldn't be like not what he needs right now, but him getting matchups like this, he can keep beating these guys. He can go secure another UFC contract and keep going. I see Ed in here pushing himself, and that guy's not ready to retire yet. So
that was my next question. Do you know if Big Ed's calling it? I guess not.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. I don't think so. He's just always going. I think he's found new motivation, if anything, to keep going. So
he's also like at that age where you're up there, like how old is Ed? Do you know how old he's?
40 years old, something
like upper 30s, early 40s. Like when you've been in the UFC that long and you have the clout, like when you hang up the UFC gloves, dude, that's where like Bare Knuckle Fight Club calls you, Bellator calls you, like, and you get like those big sunset type of contracts.
Yeah, like big last one to go off with or something.
And Ed Herman's definitely a name that would make a lot of money for something like Bare Knuckle Fight Club or something.
Oh, they would probably love him. I don't know if he would do that. But they would probably throw some money at him for it, for sure.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm an Ed Herman fan, so I'm always down to watch him beat people up. And you dipped into this a little bit, but since we last talked, your role in your gym and the satellite gyms has really increased. You've got that promotion, so to speak. So tell me a little bit about like what you're running, what you're teaching, yada yada yada.
So actually, back in my last fight in June, I was working like 40 to 50 hours a week every week. And so the week before my fight, I worked like 50 hours. And then actually the last time you interviewed me, I was in my car at work.
Yep.
I was just finished. I was on lunch break doing the interview with you because I needed to go back in after, and then you needed to go to sleep because of the time difference.
It was like midnight my time. Yeah.
Yeah. So you see, like that's what I was working with before, working all night long. I would work anywhere. I was supposed to be there in like 5:30 p.m., but they would give me some leniency because I taught class Monday night. So, but I would show up there. We're supposed to get out at 2:30 in the morning, but we're picking orders all night. So sometimes we're there till 4 or 5 in the morning. There's like no set schedule, you know. And I needed the money bad. I was only running like 2 privates a week, and I was just had this one client, Dave, I was running privates with. But after the last fight, I started kind of teaching a lot more jiu-jitsu. They offered me to teach up at that FSBJJ headquarters up in Vancouver. So I teach there on Thursday nights, and then I teach Saturday mornings over there. I had already been teaching Nogi at American Top Team on Monday nights, but then they also offered me the Friday class. So now I do Monday and Friday nights over here teaching Nogi. Those are great classes. I started off with like 5 to 10 people in those, and I've had 20 people consistently in those classes recently. And my private lessons just popping off the chain. So I mean, I have 12 private lessons every single week now that I teach. So I was able to, through that and through teaching cardio kickboxing 2 days a week. I used to do that 1 day a week on Thursdays. Now I do that Monday and Friday before I teach some privates, and then before I go into teaching my night classes. And then with those 12 extra privates and all those classes I'm teaching, I was able to go part-time. Now I work at FedEx, and I'm only scheduled like 15 hours a week, and sometimes I don't even do that many hours. So yeah, it's been nice. So this whole last 2 weeks I haven't worked at all. So nothing this week and nothing last week. So I feel much better mentally for this fight, and I feel like my weight cut's going to go a lot smoother because I'm not water loading while I'm picking orders at work and working all night long until 3 in the morning and having crazy sleep pattern. And yeah, we got shit under wraps now. So
well,
yeah.
Congrats, dude, because that's something a lot of fighters struggle with. And now that you've had a camp where you can kind of chill out, relax, and focus on fighting, you're going to go 3-0. You're going to get the belt. So after that,
yeah,
what's next? How does the rest of your 2023 look like? Is it time to go pro?
So I definitely want to go and probably defend this amateur title once or twice, and then maybe another amateur fight in a different promotion. But I want to do like 4 fights total this year, amateur fights. This one that I'm having now, and then 3 more. And then I want to go pro after that. So at that point, I will have had 6 amateur fights. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for nearly 9 years. In August will be 9 years. So I think it's time to go. So I already know my jiu-jitsu is at a pro level. We just needed to get the striking up and the experience up, and I feel like I'm starting to close that gap. So over the next year, I feel like I'll really close that gap, and we'll be pro in 2024. So
And when you go pro 2024, any promotions that you'd like to debut in? I don't know how it works up in Pacific Northwest. I know a lot of like regional promotions across the country.
yeah, there's a few regional promotions out here. Like King of the Cage is a big one that they hold. I just had
Is that up there?
Yeah, so King of the Cage they hold down at the beach in Lincoln City. And I just had 8 teammates fight there recently. They do pro-am shows, so they'll do amateurs and pros on the card. And we had 8 people fight that night. We went 7-1, so that was a month or 2 ago. But I'll probably start off like something King of the Cage around there, and then see if I can get a deal with LFA. We have a kind of good in with LFA and Bellator here. There's no flyweight division in Bellator, of course, but I could take a fight at 35 as the right guy, you know. So it kind of depends, you know, where the offers lie and if I'm able to pack any more muscle on this skinny body or not. But
my buddy Charles Guthrie is the champion King of the Cage, or at least he was.
Nice.
So that's a good promotion.
That's cool. They have a good show there. So it was really professional at the last one I went to. So it was nice.
We ever gonna see you on actually I don't even know if Chael Sonnen does Submission Underground anymore. Is that a thing?
I've been I may have been bothering about it the last time I saw him, so we'll see.
Did he say
he comes in here occasionally? So he said he would like to get it back together in the future. So we'll see what that has. But I'm actually I'm gonna go do some IBJJF tournaments this year and try to add some accolades onto my brown belt. So I'm gonna actually be competing at Pan Am's 2 weeks after this fight. So I'll be flying out to Pan Am's on the 21st, 10 days after, to Florida to try and go become a IBJJF Pan Am champ. So we're gonna get the jiu-jitsu competitions rolling for sure.
That's some Gordon Ryan level shit right there, my man.
We're trying.
Love it, dude. That's Pan Am's. Is that the big one?
It's the biggest one that the IBJJF holds besides Worlds.
Okay.
So I'll do Pan Am's now, and then I'll do Worlds beginning of June. So
You got yourself a busy 8 months coming up, dude.
yeah, man, I want to compete in jiu-jitsu like 8 times this year and fight 4. So I'll be fucking busy.
I love it, man. And I've known you for what, 3-4 years, something like that now virtually, and your hard work is paying off. It's awesome
Thanks.
to see, dude. It's really awesome to see. I remember when you had like 1,000 followers and you
I
were
was
just
hitting
like
that in GNC.
you were that purple belt on GNC. Yes, sir.
Came a long way since there.
That's awesome, man. It makes me really happy. I know your wife's in the sauna.
You're interviewing UFC fighters now and everything. And last time you interviewed me, like you barely had any followers on your channel and stuff, and now you're fucking blowing up too. So it's really cool.
We're
to
trying,
see.
man. It's fun, and I think this is actually going to be your debut on the Scrap News. So congratulations, Kevin. You've made it as well.
Hell yeah, here we go. First of many.
Fuck
We'll
yeah,
do
dude.
one after the belt too. So
Oh yeah, once you get that win, we'll do a post fight interview, no doubt, and pretty much every fight going forward. But I was just gonna say, I know your wife is in the sauna, so I'm gonna let you get out of here in a second. But before we do, gonna put you on the spot. Anything you'd like to say to everybody that we haven't covered, anything like that, the mic is yours.
no, I just want to thank MMA Twitter and BJJ Twitter for all their support. In case they're watching this, they've been really great to me throughout the years, and I built a nice little community of followers on there. I want to shout out my sponsors, the Underdog Lawyer. I mean, without him, I would still be having to work a lot more ahead of this fight. So he's been great to me. My 2 new sponsors, No Naval Pizza and Go Fuck Yourself Sandwich Shop up in Vancouver. They've been great as well. And I gotta just thank Champ Meals PDX for kind of getting me ready over these last 2 weeks, getting me a bunch of meals so that I can actually make weight nice and easy on top of that. So I just gotta give a shout out to my sponsors. And Vibe by California, the dispensary that sponsors me, makes it nice and easy, so I don't need to spend a bunch of money on recovery. They give me nice packages before I fight. So shout out to my sponsors. Thanks for getting me here. Thanks to American Top Team for getting me ready. And now let's go get this belt.
Love it, dude. Absolutely love it. And everybody, I already said it, but I'll say it again. Don't miss it. Rumble 113 this weekend, March 11th. Kev Jitsu right there getting that freaking dubby, and he's going to have his first title. Kev, my man, thank you for the time. Thank you for joining me. Great catching up. And
Thanks, Jake.
Kick this mofo's ass, all right?
Oh, yeah. I'll talk to you Sunday or Monday after the fight.
Yes, sir. Don't get too hurt and don't hurt hit too bad, all right?
Hell yeah. Peace out.